Hello, I'm Daniel. A little nervous, but the topic was quite timely for me because for the last 18 years, my home has been London. And I've been back here for just about 2 months now. So I actually feel I'm more on foreign soil here than for the last 18 years. But one of the things, there's a saying, you may have heard it, and I found it to be quite true. And it's a saying about England and America, and it's two countries separated by common language. And I actually found that to be true. And there's a lot of words they use there that are words we use here, but they have completely different meaning. And so I actually have a list. And it's a list of, it's 2 columns. And on one column is a series of words, and the second column is the definition. So at the top of the list is the word all right. Now, all right, I would hear it every morning. It was an easy one to interpret. So, because you'd go into work every morning and people would say, all right? And after a while, people would answer and they'd say, yeah, I'm all right. You all right? And so you could really easily figure out the meaning. So in the second column, I have, hi, how are you? Greeting. And that's what it means. And, and most words, I was able to kind of figure out the meaning. You could kind of do this interpretation because you'd see someone act in a certain way and you'd hear it. And one day I was in the pub. I'd been there a couple months, so this was a long time ago. And with a group of people, and I was moving around crowd to crowd. And this one person said, he's a wanker. And I had no clue what that meant. And I thought I could figure it out, like I figured out other words. Now, there's particular difficulty with that because British people are very low key. They don't do a lot of inflection. They don't do a lot of hand motions. They're really kind of cool and low key about things. So it was really hard to kind of figure that out. And it was just a comment in passing. And also I have this tendency that, well, my wife thinks I have this tendency. She's sitting here. And the tendency is that I always think that I'm right. and therefore I never want to ask people questions. Now, of course, it's just an act I put on for her. So, and actually people who really know me, all my friends know, that it's really just a temporary inflection in a disease-like kind of thing. So, and it's intermittent, it comes and goes. So it's not 24/7. It's more like 23, 6 3/4. So I wanted to figure this out. And I thought, through conversations and, this is in the back of my mind. And I was thinking, okay, all right, well, it must be a verb. Because you would add that to the end of a verb. So I figured it's got to be a verb. So wanker, and I bet it's an action verb. And then my mind jumped to, it must be a sport. It must be a sport. So if it was a sport, what could it mean? So it could mean maybe it's an actual name of a sport, the Wolverhampton Wankers or something. And then I thought, well, maybe it could actually be the name of a position in a sport. Like, we can't start the game until we get another wanker. We're short wankers tonight. Can we get any wankers out there that want to play tonight? No? No. And I kept going through this in my mind, and I couldn't quite get there with it. And I have a friend that's a professor at one of the universities in London. He's a neuroscientist, and one of the things he says is that actually data has no meaning without context. And he does these really cool presentations, and he'll show phrases and words and colors, and take a color and surround it with different colors, and people will think it's a different color. And when you change the surrounding colors, it changes again. And I always think that that's handy to know when you're painting your walls. Because you can, as long as you paint one wall, the whole color, the other walls won't know it's different. And so context is everything. Context is everything. So Well, as it turns out, I got some context. And the next day, I'm at the pub, and somebody is also talking, and it happened to be a female this time, and she said, "He's a wanker." And that was the context I needed to figure out. It was a kind of an action sport, I guess. I mean, I was getting warm. I was heading in the right direction. All right?
Yeah, do everybody.